Islam family, it is a beautiful bright day. Oh my goodness, the sun is just kissing me today. And I took 2 wellness days today because I just did not feel like being, I just needed some days for myself. So I took 2 days off. I told y'all to go in the house and clean up. I ain't gonna say it again. DD in the house. VV in the house. All of y'all in the house. You see what I gotta do? I gotta handle some business in a second. Belize in the house. In the house. Goodbye. Goodbye. You gonna keep asking me? I said goodbye. This is the stuff I gotta deal with, y'all, with family. I tell you.
Yeah.
The purpose of me making this video was in response to, well, what are we gonna do when we release all of our sons and daughters out of these institutions, right? Because we have extraction team working on that very thing. You're standing in my son. See, this is what I deal with. You know what I mean? This is what I deal with. They don't want me home full time because they would really not like me. Seriously, they really wouldn't. They got tired mommy, but tired mommy is going to be not tired in a couple of minutes. But the purpose of me coming on this social platform was to talk about what are we going to do with our family members that are being released from these POW camps. Foreign institutions on Moroccan soil. Now, I like to put people in the proper perspective, and I like to put things in their proper alignment. Mothers, who told you you're not responsible for why these prisons are filled with our babies? Our sons and our daughters. Mothers. Sons, you share equal responsibility as well, right? And the point I'm saying is, where are the reasons why they're in these institutions? The question you need to ask yourself, why are we the reasons why they're in these institutions? Can somebody give me one example as to why our sons and daughters are in institutions, in POW camps? Why are they not free on their own ancestral land? We need to ask ourselves that question. And we need to deal honestly with the answers and the responsibilities, right? Because when I think about, I posted a post earlier today, and I wish I had it right in front of me to read it, but I don't. I only have one device right now. What I posted was, what are some of the reasons why they're there, right? Is there an injured party? Did they violate a fake-ass code? Did they do anything wrong? Did they harm any beings, any natural beings? Did they harm? Because a corporation cannot be harmed. It cannot be seen. It cannot be heard. It cannot stand as witness. So therefore, there can never be an injured party that is not a natural person, right? So I just cleared some things. So if you get a citation or some type of bullshit ass invitation to contract, which is what you get in the mail, fraudulently, why mind you, because it's fraud. It is fraud. One, they're speaking to an all caps individual, which isn't an individual, which is a corporation. They're speaking to an all caps corporation. Not only are they speaking to an all caps corporation, check this out. You responded to that corporation. You said that you were that person or that all caps letter individual that you are not. That doesn't even exist. That is a fiction. So that's the first fraud that they created. Sending you anything in the mail, claiming and referring you to a dead status, a corporate status. And we did that by answering to those accusations, those invitations to contract. That's exactly what we did. They were invitations to contract, and we accepted the invitation by responding to something that is not us. When anybody is talking and speaking with a natural being, the first letter is capitalized, the rest are lowercase. So if you say, for instance, let's say John Doe. My name is John Doe, for an example only, because that is not my name. And I have no name. I have a Moorish appellation. Names are for corporations. Appellations are for natural, living, breathing beings, right? So, if I'm John Doe, and I spell my name capital J, lowercase o-h-n, space, because that's the end of my first name, or yes, first name, and then the last name is Doe, right? So then it's a capital D, and a lowercase o and e. John Doe. But if documents are coming to you specifying specifically all caps John Doe, they're not referring to you, and if you answer to that, you're accepting the contract that is being presented before you. And there's defenses. When you know knowledge and you know knowledge yourself and you're in your proper person and status, you know how to rebut all of these invitations to contract. They're the exact same thing as, when the so-called mail lady or mailman comes and gives you all these solicitation documents in your mailbox. The first thing they shouldn't be doing is giving it to you. But they try to get through it by current occupant, or they'll put your name in all caps or say or occupant to kind of get through all of those firewalls, right? Because the reality is, just like how we don't answer the phone when we have a number that does not correspond to somebody that we should be treating with, we should still indefinitely treat that so-called mailbox the same way. Because a lot of people come in that mailbox thinking that you have invitations. They're giving you invitations to contract, not realizing that you never gave the invitation for contact. How did they get your information? You ask, right? Because all of these corporations that we so-called do business with or contract with are selling your information to these individuals for fiat. Illegal as well, because you did not give, but they're not. But this is how they kind of get through the fraud or through the lie. They don't mention you, the natural being, right? With your first letter and your first appellation or name, capital, and the rest lowercase, and so too your last name, right? They're not treating with the natural being. They're saying who is going to respond, who is going to, through their ignorance of how I'm fraudulently presenting myself, going to respond. Only people that are going to ultimately respond are people who are ignorant. And for a very long time, family members, we've been ignorant, erroneously responding to things. Why have we been erroneously responding to things? Now we got to go back to mommy, y'all, because we learn everything we do, everything we know, everything we are by the mother that is raising us. This is what she did. This is what we do. So this is why I tell you, mothers, that you have the biggest responsibility why our societies are the way they are. And you cannot blame our sons because they come from us as well. So what directives you giving them? Or lack of directives? Lack of direction. We have to accept the fact that we have been training our children for the very servitude and peonage we've placed upon ourselves. And I say this because we've placed this upon ourselves, because we did not think outside the box, nor was we encouraged to think outside the box from our mothers and our fathers, right? And when I say this, I don't mean to tell you to hate your mom or your father. I mean to tell you to accept the realities of what's being done to you, not only necessarily by your own admission, but how you've been raised to act a particular and specific way. I've been raised to do the same thing, family. I've done the same thing, family. I'm telling you to check what you've been raised to do and do something different, right? So when I say your mother is why you end up in slavery, why you end up in POW camps, I am completely not lying about that. She's why you're there. I am why you're there. Because we have not given our sons and our daughters anything besides slavery. And we have to look in the mirror and accept that that's what we've done and correct it. Right? And let me use an example so I can further encourage the thought process. I am a mom. I have a child. I go into a hospital and have my child. Sometimes the father is there. Sometimes the father is not there. Let's, in this case, say he is not there. I had a relationship, and the relationship disbanded. He went away, and let's just leave it with me and 2 children, right? So now I'm having 2 children. I'm trying to figure out a way, how do I raise these 2 children? I'm going to revert, to what is already here in this mind, that was planted in this mind from social engineering, from social education, as well as from the mother that birthed me. If I was with my mother, sometimes I'm with a foster child, a parent, sometimes I'm in foster care, sometimes, I could come from a multitude of servitudes, but the first person that I had contact with was my mom. Whether or not she raised me or not, that was the first contact, right? I was like, so when you sit here and think about, okay, how am I going to live? What information that's already in here am I deferring to? Oh, I can go down to welfare office and get I can get services, right? So when you go to that, in that institution that is robbing you, that is putting you in the situation you are in to be required to contact them, is the very place you're running to. So you're running to your oppressor, who has been oppressing you in closing up every avenue of possibilities for you, making it the only avenue you can go to, which would be to the social services building. Now, this is where you tie in CPS, as well as all these other institutions. You tie them in this way, right? So I'm going down there. The first thing they ask you for is what? What is your name? What is your birth date? What is your social security number? Where do you reside? All this stuff they're asking you. They're not asking you this information because they care about where you live, what's your name. They're asking you all of these things because you ultimately going to be paying that bill that you're asking for, right? And not only do they ask that, they ask you, who's the baby's father, right? And now you mad because he done ran away. And now you pissed off, and now you be putting all this displaced blame, not realizing or taking responsibility the fact that you birthed that child through your Stargate. You made that effort, you made that decision when you decided to do whatever you did to have that child come birthing through your Stargate, right? So now you go there, and now they're asking you all this information about somebody else who is not sitting in front of them applying for the services that you're requesting. You're the one applying for those services, right? So now you done put somebody else on the hook. So now you done sit here and say, oh, this is my baby's father. And so now they looking for him because you just gave them all the information to find him and to start trying to ask for contract with him. And because he is not knowledgeable as well, he's falling through the same traps. He got a document in the mail that had his all caps name. We wasn't addressing him. He didn't apply for any contract. He didn't apply for any services. But yet he is being victimized because you did not know who you are. You did not know who your children were. You don't realize your status is the issue, and the land is already yours, and the wealth within the land is already yours. Therefore, the cycle repeats. And not only because you signed that contract, now you said, okay, yes, I cannot take care of myself. I don't know who I am. I am incapable of providing for myself. So now, guess what they say? Okay, we're going to snack CPS on you, Child Protective Services on you, right? So now they watching. Not because they care. They all in it for the finance. They all in it for the booty and the prize. And even if our people are the first people you see within these institutions, because they went and got a job. I went and got a job. I ain't saying this because I am not in this. We all are in this together, right? So I'm saying all this to say, when you raise children and when you create life, you are responsible to provide for that life. And the very thing that you're responsible to provide that life with is the ability to take care of itself, whether it's a boy or whether it's a girl. And the reasons why I say this is because of this. Why don't you know how to change a light bulb? And if you didn't know how to change a light bulb, what would be your first action? You would go find somebody else who could change the light bulb. That would be the automatic first thing a person would do if they did not know how to change a light bulb. But today you have so much technology that we will expense energy for. So much technology that we will expense energy for. But the very thing we won't do is self-education, self-knowledge. Let me tell you, YouTube is the most beautiful creation. I wonder who created YouTube, because it provides you with the ability to learn how to do for yourself. It provides that. because some other natural being said, you know what? I know how to fix this light bulb. I know how to fix it, and I know how to put it, I know how to replace it. Let me do a Facebook or YouTube video showing people how to replace it step by step, and then let me upload it to Facebook. YouTube. And then they upload it. And then if you have this electronic device, which most people have, even in dire situations, they got this phone, just so you know, they have a phone. That's like before. I think most people pay their cell phone bill before they eat. I really do think that. Stay connected. Gotta stay connected, right? I was like, so me, the first thing I would do, if I didn't have anything, if I was raising my children, is teaching them how to learn how to change the light bulb. But in order for you to teach it, you got to know it. You got to know how to change that light bulb before you can teach it to your children. These are the things that I've learned through trial and error, just living life just like you, testing theories, testing options and shit. I do this. Let me tell you what my children know how to do. And then you see these videos with these other children where their fathers and their mothers are taking responsibility. And then you look at that, and all you see is the negativity in it. And the one specific video I'm speaking about is a Asiatic son who is teaching his children how to load and unload guns, as well as laws that come with it. I ain't find nothing wrong with that. I was like, that is his job, to teach them how to defend themselves, to teach them law in all ways, to teach them how, because the Constitution teaches you this very thing. You have the right to your property, to your personal effects, and nobody can just come and take them. And they tell you who and only who can. So if you know that only an Article 3 judge with judicial authority, who is the sovereign of the land, I might add, give you that air quote, can tell you or try to take something from you, but he's going to do it lawfully. He's not going to sneak on your property. He's not going to, while you're at the store, come hook up a thingy to your car and try to pull it away. These are what criminals do. And just because they're coming in a building, coming in a truck that has tow on it, does not escape the fact, does not minimize the realities are they're stealing your property. So when that son is teaching its children how to defend themselves, he's also teaching his children how to defend themselves from people who are taking things, even though they think they're legal, illegally and fraudulently. And ignorance of the law does not give you any responsibility or lack of responsibility for violating it, and you deserve the injury you deserve the injury that is placed upon you based on that ignorance, because ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it. Not for you, not for me. If I felt as though I was right, the first thing I want you to know is I'm right. So I'm going to treat with you as a natural being talking to you. I'm like, look, I'm going to be all belligerent, right? Well, this is what this say. And then I'm going to be treating with you, right? And then if somebody kicking some knowledge to me that is different from what I know, and it's actual, I'm going to be so happy that they told me that. Not all mad, because now I can't do my job. Because the reality is, family, most of your and my jobs are illegal and fraudulent, and we are completely in it, skin in it. And just because the building says something and you have a massa and all these other things doesn't elude or doesn't disqualify the realities of the fact that you are doing something illegal because it's against the American Constitution, therefore it's illegal. And you're in it. And your ignorance of it doesn't excuse you from violating anything, right? So I say this to say, stop always looking at something and looking at the negative that's within you and projecting that on somebody else. And thinking that you're justified in it. No, you're not. You're ignorant. Because when I saw that son teaching his daughter and his son how to load and reload and a firearm to protect them and their things that they have, that they've expensed energy for, I say that's a father knowing his responsibility as a son from a mother who taught him what the hell he's supposed to be doing. Why he here? So don't sit here and get mad. Mothers, daughters, sons, father, square your intent, I'm sorry. So what I say is, if you are raising children and you're not teaching them how to do a damn thing, and you are sending them to these POW concentration camps, whatever you want to call them, and then you sit here mad why they going to jail, not realizing it's all in the cycle, all in the process. Their processes and procedures are to do that very thing. Because when they go to these so-called JOBs and can't get a JOB because we're in the JOBs, the mothers, the sons are ostracized, so they go in to get gang affiliations because mommy don't tell them nothing. All mommy harps about is you can't get a job, you worthless, you need to be helping with the bills. Y'all don't realize how deep in a sin you in. And it started with mommy. School to prison pipeline is exactly. So stop with your arrogance, with your ego, and your pride, moms. Because you put your sons in the positions that they found themselves in. Because the reality is they are birthed with a directive that is supposed to be given to them, and you don't give them anything. And you hand them right over to Rome. Because you don't give them anything. So now they're running out in the street trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with their life. Because mommy ain't prepared them for nothing. She didn't make sure they knew how to do anything, saw where their interests might be navigating to, and push them through that. You're wasting like at least a good, how many years do people go through kindergarten to 12th grade? What's that, 12 years? 12 years from the age of 5? So from the age of 5 to 18, they're doing useless, pointless, enslaving type of mentality things. And they're only getting trained to go to a corporation and leave and abandon you and their family and their nation in favor of the very people inflicting all the pain and suffering in their communities, the corporations. And more importantly, the foreign colonial corporations. So if you thought you was free, babies, we all still enslaved, and we will still be enslaved until we are completely and 100% providing for ourselves and requiring all those others who are on our lands, partaking in our resources, are paying for those resources that they are taking to the Aboriginal, indigenous heirs to the land. So when I say this, mothers, what have you taught your sons how to do? Do they know how to put electrical works up? Do they have a father or a cousin or an uncle or an aunt that does this as a trade within the corporations? You should be teaching them this. You should be taking them out of these stupid factories and taking them on the jobs with you, especially if you have your own business, They should be right up in there learning it with you. Going to educational institutions for specific education and not the dumb stuff that we send our children to and wonder why they come home and they be looking at you, mad at you, angry at you, can't stand you, and y'all got a horrible relationship. It's because they mad at you. Because you brought them to this existence just to be a slave like you. And that's a hard pill to swallow, moms. I know, but you gotta swallow it and just move forward. You gotta do it. You ain't got a choice. I'm telling you, you ain't got a choice. Slavery is not an option for my ancestors. For my sea stars, for your sea stars. Because if you ain't gonna educate them, I'm gonna educate them on knowledge, baby. You know what I'm saying? When I posted a video a couple of days ago, I see all these foreigners enjoying all their family businesses and all these Asiatics looking and begging them for a job on their own land. So this is where we have to get unity, babies. We need to be smacking solar grids on our property. We need to be teaching our children, and YouTube is the very place that you need to go right now for it. So if your child likes to make jewelry, smack them in front of the YouTube video and buy them the supplies that they need to start making jewelry in your home. Stop spending all your finances off on these stupid daycare centers. We need to be providing that services for our children, and while they're in that service, be training them how to do stuff instead of how to beg for stuff. Cosmo L does training for bejeweling on how to, make jewelry. There is so much out there. You have absolutely no excuse anymore, babies. You don't have them, and I'm not going to let you. So if you ask me the question, why are people in the prisons, it's because of you, Mom. If you ask me the question, what we going to do when we take them out of the prisons, that's on us too. Because we put them there to begin with. So how dare we sit here and be like, well, what the hell are we going to do with them when we bring them home? What do you mean? What do you mean? We got buildings that need to be repaired. We got, we sit here, whenever we get like $20, think about this. It's going to kick your butt too. When you get your income tax check that you shouldn't be applying for anyway, or given in the first place. Because income you don't make, because you're not a business or corporation, but you've been identifying as such. That's why they be charging you and doing all this stuff, because you be sitting here contracting on your own right. Stop contracting. My children know how to build things. They know how to turn down and up electrical grids. They know how to cook food. They know how to make food. They know how to, oh my God. I could put the specs right. I could put their little resume right here. And guess who gonna get the job before your children get the job? That's all in these dumb factories. Don't know how to do nothing. They sit here. You got to give them a directive from the start of the day to the end of the day, because they have no free thought. Because that system created them no ability to have a free thought. They don't have it, babies, because you've taken their hands and you've tied them behind their backs and you put scotch tape around their mouths, and all they can do is see. So start training your children. Stop sitting here not letting them come in the kitchen and help you cook. Like, no, you stay over there. No. Let them help. Let them make a mess and make them clean it up. Put it there. Make them responsible. Stop treating your sons like they're about to die. They're not going to freaking die. You're killing them because you're not giving them what they need to survive, because you're scared they're going to die. Train them to be men. Train them to be fearless. Train them not to even have that conscious word in their freaking heads. But at the end of the day, take responsibility. I love you. Have a good day. I'll be back probably.